muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, there we go. In my backing.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.
Hey, where'd you come from?
Hey, what's up, guy?
Hey, guy.
How'd you get here?
When'd you show
Who
up?
let you in this door?
I've been sitting here hanging out, and all of a sudden there's a guy here with me.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you watched podcast 1. If you didn't, that's all right.
Watch number 2. It's
sucked
better than the
anyway.
first one anyway.
No, but this is going to be a lot more of an interesting podcast, one that I'm very happy to start. We've been ranting about it all day, actually.
Yeah, it was started by some legislation that came down, so it got us kind of interested in a topic that kind of really touches a lot of people in a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, we wanted to start off with we're going to start off with Stillwater tips.
All right, welcome back to the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast, episode 2. This one might go into 2 parts because we got some topics to dive into.
Yeah.
So first, we're going to start with. First, we got 2 games we're going to attempt.
Okay.
I've been showing this guy the social media way.
How to play games. So
Yeah, we got some games planned. I don't know how it's going to turn out, to be completely honest.
apparently
with you.
we're supposed to play games.
So then we're going to talk about Stillwater fly fishing.
Yep.
Specifically tactics to begin with. And then leading into that, tactics from a boat,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I mean, everything kind of is, a lot of things stay the same, but we're going to talk specifically fly fishing, seasons, tactics, things to look for.
And I think from our perspective, we do everything from the boat perspective. However, depending on the season, it kind of would be the same from shore as it would be with a boat, depending on the season. So that's why the season matters.
Then from there, we're going to get into fish, trout, and spawning in still waters.
And whether they're successful or not,
Yeah.
and does that dictate what's socially acceptable, what's
Good for the resource.
yeah.
Then that's going to lead us into a whole can of worms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the whole bead talk, reds,
yeah.
fishing beads, new regulations in Wyoming on the North Platte.
Yeah, what's
And-
acceptable and what's not. And 2 things. One thing that I really want to get into a little bit too when we get there is from a ethics standpoint, where is ethics drawn the line if it's not regulated by law? And does it need to be regulated by law or anything goes? Like, where is that line for everybody?
And we're going to start all of that out with fact-based, based on stocking reports, things, regulations that exist, regulations that are being put into place without an opinion. And then we're going to dive into our own experiences with rivers, specifically the North Platte and other rivers around Colorado and lakes. That's going to be kind of the before part, but how we are experiencing decline in places as population and popularity have increased, right?
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Like there's the stats back it up. The number of people that are now utilizing a resource where maybe ethics and tactics didn't matter in the past, and now it's a huge combination, not because the tactic is so poor, but because the resource is being so overtaxed by how many folks are using it now. So
Yeah.
big
All right.
things,
Well,
very serious.
yeah.
Very serious.
well, it's going to get good. Maybe serious, maybe not.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, let's get into the games. Let's
All
get
right.
those right out of the way.
All right, here we go.
All right. You got $15. You have to build your ultimate lake
Okay.
to survive.
So
You have
when
to
you say
survive.
survive, like for the week,
You got
or
stranded
in
on a lake.
perpetuity.
Yeah, no. Like
There's no coming
lifetime.
back.
No
I'm
coming
there
back.
forever.
You're
Like
there, you are in there.
Like Tom Hanks.
You're in there like swimwear.
I'm in there deep.
Uh-huh.
All right.
You got no other
All right.
thing. All right.
So I have to build the perfect lake.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I pick, that's what it is forever. There's no changing.
No.
And I have to live off of that.
You have to survive.
Forever.
With those 4 things.
So it's like Castaway.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
No volleyball.
I don't. Okay.
So you have $15.
Okay.
Each
I need
one of the
notes.
4.
I gotta take notes. $15.
Each 4 the categories have 5 different options. A $5, $4, $3, $2, and $1 option.
Okay. And I only have $15. So
you only have $15.
So basically, like I could pick 3 $5 options, but then I'd only get 3 of the options.
No, I mean you can't do that. You'd get 2 $5 options, a $4 option.
Well, 3 times 5 is 15.
I know you only have 15.
Yeah, so I can spend 15.
Yeah, but you have to make it to the last option with $1
Why?
left.
Why?
Because you have. That's how the game works.
Oh, okay. So I
just how
can't
the
just
game
skip
works.
a category.
No.
I have to pick something
You
from every
have
category.
to buy. You have to have $1 left by the last
All
category.
right, I'm really bad at games. Here we go.
All right. How do I want to start this? All right, we're gonna start with species. All right.
Okay.
So we got under species,
Yeah.
the $5 options, massive shallow lake trout, and you got to be thinking through the species. You got to be thinking about sustainability.
Can this lake freeze though?
No, we're just say this
All
lake
right.
is prime time year round.
Okay. All right.
Prime time year round for any of these. Okay.
So we got shallow water Lakers.
Yep.
And they're
Big.
$5.
Big $5.
Okay.
Then you got big pike.
Okay.
Then you got brook trout.
Okay.
Then you have catfish for $2.
Nice.
And then you got
catfish.
suckers.
Oh,
You got a nice sucker for the last $1.
I don't want to eat sucker though.
Right?
Fuck.
Sounds horrible.
Dude, that's rough. Okay, here we go.
All right, choose it.
Oh, I have to pick.
Oh, you have to pick before we go to the next one.
Oh gosh.
I told you your categories, right? Or did I not?
Yeah. No. Well,
Species. You got species, fly, boat, and then your rod and reel combo.
All right. Oh well, I'm not eating. I don't know. Catfish are pretty good, dude. I can save money.
Can you catch a catfish on the? I guess they're everywhere. We're saying these fish are like.
Are they
very
prolific?
Easily, yeah.
Okay.
They run the lake.
All right, but catfish may not eat it. Suckers. I'm gonna have to go with brookies. All right.
I knew it.
Brookies taste better. They're char. I'm in.
You're a brookie man.
All right, here we go.
All right,
That's
we got the fly.
$3.
We got the fly now.
Okay, go ahead.
So what? You got 12 left.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, fly
Yep.
at $5. You have a large articulated deer hair Buford style fly.
All right. So I have no Lakers and Pike, so I got no need. Yeah.
Now you $4. You have a Goldie.
Ooh.
That's like the.
Brookies are kind of aggressive.
All right. $3. You have a Thin Mint.
That's the one.
You don't even want to hear the other options.
Yeah, go ahead.
We got a
All right.
unraveling zebra midge at number 2, and then number 1, you just have a hook in like your own hair. You just gotta figure out how to get it on
make my
there.
own, like,
Yeah.
like
a really bad elk hair caddis.
made out of like my own human hair. Like I
Yeah.
shave my eyebrows or
Exactly.
armpit hair.
Yep.
All right. I'm not going with that
You're going
option.
thinny.
I'm going Thin Mint for $3.
All right.
I've got a Thin Mint.
You played it out well.
Okay.
All right, boats. You got a hydro sleigh for $5, fully decked out. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Kayak $4. Then you got a swim ring for $3. Number 2, you got a life jacket, aka belly boat. Not really.
Same thing. You end up
And number 1, you got floaties.
on my arms.
Yeah.
I can't even cast with those.
No.
I would think I'd. Okay. Well, I'm going with this is where I'm going to splurge. But I don't know because I don't know what my lake options are. Is that like the body of water's next?
No. I only got one more. The rod and reel. Lake options it's already existing.
3, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 11, huh? I mean, leave. Okay, I'm going with that. I'm
All right,
going with the
hydro
hydro sleigh because like you got to be able to get everywhere. You can sleep on it too.
It's a good choice he made.
All right, hydro sleigh. So now I'm down to $4. I got $4.
All right, rod
left.
and reel combo, $4 left. You can't. So full sink 8 weight was $5 option.
That's off the table.
Now you got floating 5 weight $4, 10 cara $3, $2 you got a stick and $1 you just got hand line. I didn't think
Okay,
about
so I
that.
can either have a real fishing rod that I know I can catch a brookie with a thin mint all the time, or I go with the stick and I go back and get catfish so that I can alternate between food.
Are you gonna really survive with a stick?
No, I'm going with the
floating
5-weight.
the floating 5-weight.
The floating 5-weight.
You made a good call.
All right, I survived. I
All
think I
right.
made it with
That
that.
was good. Good stuff.
Oh, that was stressful, dude. I didn't even know if I was going to make it. I was worried. Shoot, like I was like already like thinking I was going to lose weight. I was like, is there seasoning? How am I going to
No.
cook the brookies? Like,
You got to figure it out.
I got to make
Pure
5.
survival after that point.
Like, is there sage on the island? I don't even know what I got. All right.
This one is.
All right, I'm coming up with a word.
Yeah, 100 is the word. I explained that to you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right.
Okay.
You have the word.
I have the word in my head.
All right. Fly fishing in the realm of fly fishing. So it can be like multiple words if it's one thing, like a fly.
Yep.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Or a
How many
fish, a
guesses
type
do
of
you
fish.
get?
Unlimited. I just got to keep
Oh
going.
my gosh. Okay.
I got
Let's
to make
go.
it happen.
Here we go.
All right.
One eternity later.
Pocket. Boulder.
That's all going to be, you're getting there, but that's keep 76.
Drop off.
Deeper.
What's deeper mean?
Trout was the next highest. Feature,
Feature.
trout.
Trout. No, I thought you said trout was 60 and
Okay,
river was
60.
70.
Yeah. And then you started talking about parts of a river, and that went to 80.
Bruh. Come on now.
It's going to be tough.
Drop off was what?
Spawning.
Oh, Reds.
Got it.
Oh man.
I had
You
to make
ruined
it.
that game.
I
You
ruined
gotta
it?
make it interesting. Like you can't just sit there and say, like you gotta have some like life to you a little bit. You got no life. You're like a zombie over there.
Dude,
You gotta get better at these. Can't
You-
even clip it now.
Maybe you need to get better at the games you pick.
No, you gotta like give me some stuff,
I didn't know I was
That's how it
supposed to give you
works.
anything.
No, not like give me, but like you gotta like, kind of be funny. Try to like talk through it. That's rough. That's all right. We'll get better.
I changed the word in my head too. I didn't know.
You changed it halfway through?
At some point, like
What was
it was
it?
gravel,
Bruh.
but then I meant reds, and then it was part of a river, and then I'm like, well, either gravel or reds, and then you said reds, and I'm like, oh, you can have reds. Like, yeah, I don't know.
All right, it's all right.
Good.
All right, we're into Stillwater.
All right, good. Let's talk about something
Let's
else.
move on.
My game is very
Your
poor.
game. You got no game.
I got no game.
You're a big game guy.
Jar Jar Binks.
All right, Stillwater tactics.
All right.
Let's get right into it from the boat.
Stillwater from the boat. So we go right from ice off. So your favorite time of year, your favorite thing to do is take a hydro sleigh and push it out on ice that's still on the lake.
We're not saying do it.
No, it's not.
It's not safe.
But
I have done it, and it's an awesome time.
so when there's still like 50, 60% of the lake is
Yeah.
iced, and there's just some places that are iced off.
Yep.
Getting out there.
From there to before bugs hatch. So from that point, like March, April until
I guess
middle of May.
when chironomids start.
Yeah, let's say middle
Trying
of
to
May.
come out middle.
So
All right.
ice off season.
Yep. What are you using? So I'll ask you first questions. It's ice off. There's still ice on the lake. Like, what are you out trying to look for?
Mm-hmm.
And what part of the lake are you fishing in? And what are you using?
Immediately. So this part is anyone from shore, whatever. Sometime this year, lake's iced off opposite though.
A donut in
They
the
didn't
middle.
ice off from the shore, from the supposed to be warmer ground to the middle. It went dead middle. There was a donut to the edges. So it was perfect for boats.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for complete edges that sit anywhere from like 5 to 12 feet deep of water on that ice edge.
Would you say the shallower the better, or just whatever edge you can find?
Wherever that ice edge is, if it's 15 feet or less, fish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that time, what are you using though? Like, now talk to me about bug selection. What are you using?
I'm using leeches,
Okay.
hot head leeches,
Yep.
a lot of hot head leeches,
Balanced.
balanced leeches,
Yep.
jigged leeches, black leeches,
Yep.
leech. And then I'll do some beads, some bead rigs,
And everyone who doesn't know what a
eggs, whatever. Egg,
an
eggs,
egg pattern
that's
of
what a
some kind.
hothead leech
Yeah.
is.
That's basically what it's doing anyway,
Yeah. So
right?
I'm throwing leeches. You can mix in some other, people like scuds. I hate scuds. Scuds are the most overrated fly out there.
I've
'em.
tried them everywhere I go on every Stillwater, and we hammer fish on Stillwaters. Never have I had a day where it's like
Unless you got
scud
an
day.
orange UV scud on that they're eating as an egg.
Exactly. That works really good.
I hate them.
Dude, there's
But,
places that everyone's
hey.
like, oh, yeah, you got to have this scud.
People must be better at fishing than me that catch them on them because I don't think they work.
Me either.
But then you find, like, Stillwater's fish are full of scuds. So I don't know. I just don't have
How about
enough
the
of 'em.
time we pumped it, we throat pumped.
The old throat pump.
The old throat pump at Henry's. Do you remember?
Dude.
The scuds.
And then we actually did catch fish on it. I
the
forgot about
only
that.
time.
Yeah. So yeah,
But-
I'm using leeches,
Yeah.
finding ice edges. When ice is completely gone, I'm still looking for 5 to 12 feet.
That's your zone, right? At that time of year.
That's my zone.
Okay. What is the? Do you care about weeds at that time? Like if there are weeds or no weeds? Are
I'm
you
looking for weeds. Weeds are weird at that time of year. I mean, some lakes have weeds year round, and I'll try to find weed edges. If no matter what, I always try to find weed edges, but always related to drop offs. So if you don't have weeds, but you still have a drop off, specifically, if you can find a drop off that goes from like 2-3 feet, drops to like 8 to 12 feet, and then there's a weed edge where it gets deeper, that's money.
Especially, yeah.
Money.
And then the best way to fish that, though, from a boat, like this is the other thing, is if there's wind, like talk about what do you do with your boat? Do you like to fish on the shallow side or do you like to fish on the deep, or park the boat? I'm sorry, not fish.
If there is no wind, I like to park on the shallow side. And then I try to cast to where I know that the drop off meets the weed edge, or fish to the weed edge, whatever's shallower.
Yep.
Specifically this time of year I tried, but if the wind, depending on wind direction,
That's the hard thing.
you got to kind of, I'm always upwind from wherever.
Because
I'm
everything-
never trying to really cast into the wind. But I will say, if the wind's not horrible, casting into the wind, I feel like do you ever feel like you have more luck when you're casting upwind and it's drifting back to you rather
Towards
than
you?
letting your flies drift away from you?
I
And
do
dangle?
sometimes. And it really, for me, it really depends though. Like I like it. I don't like it drifting right directly towards me. Like if I can park the boat where it's coming towards me, but maybe at
the
angle,
I do like that. So maybe
because you can mend it like a river as it's coming. Like if it's coming straight towards you, sometimes it makes it hard because you're always having to manage line, and then when it goes under, like you have too much line on the water, and setting the hook sucks.
yeah. So that's kind of my tactics when trying.
And
to
we are
park
talking
it.
about indicator fishing, right?
So I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about indicator fishing. I will say that time of year,
What happened this
it can
year
be
at spinning?
really. Oh, dude, we couldn't catch a fish unless you started stripping them in.
With an indicator, I just started
So
randomly moving
movement,
them.
especially ice off, like a lot of the times I'll take 2 rods and I will just let my freaking leech rig soak out next to me
Yeah.
at a same depth. And then I'm throwing leeches and twitching them in, or I'm throwing,
But it still leeches.
or I'm throwing string. I'll throw like goldies and anything, dude. Anything that moves. Because I think those fish don't see a lot of, obviously, if they're eating fish or moving things that are trapped under the ice that are real, they're seeing it, but they're not seeing a lot of pressure. Like it's just ice fishing, and it's just vertical up and down. So I think fish really like that movement
Yeah, I
right
agree.
after ice off.
I agree. And the only time that I would like park a boat differently, and maybe the thing that I don't like is I don't like where there's a shallow edge, like it goes from 2 to 3 feet to 8 feet, and then the wind is blowing straight into the shallow side, because it sucks because you cast out to the deeper edge and and immediately as soon as it just starts dragging on the shallow side.
And that's why it's so spot specific.
Yeah.
Because if you're fishing a flat with weeds, you're fine.
You're good.
If you're fishing a drop off with or without weeds, you got to be careful about that. But I will say, like that time of year, you can get away with more of not being truly
on the bottom.
on the bottom. And yeah.
Let's talk about the tactics, like about the. Well, I guess we'll get into that. Let's go into now the next best spot part, which is late spring to early summer, which is probably
late spring, midsummer
for me. And the reason it's my favorite time is basically because of you, because you invented a chironomid that is like outfishes anything like I've ever seen. It doesn't even matter what Stillwater body of water it is on. But that time of year, the chironomid, when the chironomid
that time of year used to be our absolute least favorite.
Yeah, because if you don't get, that's the time. How specific can it be during that time of year for either catch? Like you can go from a 4-fish day to an 80-fish day based on the bug. Like it's literally crazy. And you can be, how many times have we been parked around 15 people?
Yep.
And your bug is out fishing everyone 4 to 1.
Multiple days in a row.
Over and over and over.
But like ice off until chironomids pop, until there's bug action.
Yeah.
It's a free-for-all for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's why people like that sometimes more. It's a lot colder.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there were 2 years where we got absolutely boned.
Bad.
By the dudes that were dialed in out there when we first started building boats and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you'd see, like, we never did, but, like, you'd see people going over to the guide boats and, like, hey,
asking them.
Like, can I see, what color are you using? Can I see it? And it always, like, pisses
Oh, dude,
him
and
off. That guy was mad.
He was mad. That kayaker goes over there, paddled right up to a guide boat, and he's, like, paddling over there. He's like, hey, I'm really sorry, man, but, like, you're just hammering fish. Like, it's nonstop. Like, could you let me see the fly you're using? And that dude was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
What did he say? Wasn't he? He was a little bit more.
He was
angry
salty.
than that, right?
I'm being very kind. He literally, when he asked him, he goes, like, what are you doing over here? Why are you this close to my boat? He's like, oh, I'm really sorry, man, but like, I just wanted to know if you'd tell me the
being
color.
a guide with clients like that, and then a guy
get it.
comes and like runs over your freaking where you're casting.
You probably like if you want to talk to someone, if it's not like sometimes you got to take your lumps. If something's working for some guy, probably if you really want information, find out who the dude is. Wait till he's off the water. Wait till he's away or things have settled down or like it's over, and then make your way over. And if you want to ask questions, probably don't paddle right up to his boat and tie up to him and say, "Yo, what are you using?"
And if anyone ever tells you what color they're using out there,
They're
it
lying.
is not that color.
1,000%. It might be a version of that color, but it's probably not.
So tactics from middle May to
What are you going with?
July.
First of all, depth and everything. What now are you looking for from late?
So it's kind of changed over the
summer.
year or two, though, because I used to think it was always still drop-offs and weeds, and then weed beds. So you want weed beds, right? Because bugs hatch off of the weeds.
Yep.
But I think that's more of a Calibatus later season thing. I've actually found now more that you want either really shallow weeds, like
or not
foot
even
and a
that
half
much,
or
but
less, just like a little bit of growth, or even straight mud
bottoms,
or some rocky, muddy bottoms, right?
Yeah, with some
And
vegetation
flats.
mixed
And
in,
some
like
flats.
not just pure gross mud bottom,
No,
but
I do know that chironomids will come out of and like bloodworms and stuff will
just in the
hatch
dirt.
out of mud.
yeah, like we've had the best spots
We'd
we've
had
ever
some best
found,
days not around a ton of weeds.
and on a flat,
Yeah.
or a place where in the fall we found weeds that had died off.
Yep.
And so you know that weed growth, it happens there, but it died off during the winter time.
Exactly. So when you find those flats with new growth, not like the weeds that stay year round,
Yep.
I think that can be some of the best spring to summer
Yeah.
chironomid hatches.
All right, so here we are, early summer. So we talked about like what you're looking for.
So we talked about what you're looking for. Let's talk about bugs.
Yep. What are you like?
Chironomids. I mean, you can
1000%.
start early season with a leech, and then it's all chironomids. And I think people go way too big still. Small, like size 20 to 16 chironomids, and then you can get to the 14s later season.
And that does move up. Like as the water warms up before the calibatus, that's when like the big midges start popping.
For
so
sure.
it starts small and it gets bigger.
Start small, yeah, and then it becomes, chironomid Then you get to middle of June into July, and it becomes chironomid and calabatus, which I don't believe there's one good calabatus pattern.
Dude, if
You can use a lot. You can use hare's ears, pheasant tails,
if you have
actual calabatus patterns. I don't know.
if you're out there and you have a brilliant calabatus pattern that
Good
you'd
for
like
you.
to share with us,
Well,
let
you
us
don't have
know.
to share it with us because I'm not willing to share my chironomid yet.
Exactly.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just keep working on our own calabatus. But this year I finally caught something on calabatus.
Yeah.
How
How much should I go into detail about my Ronnie?
I wouldn't. It's called the green tiger.
Yeah.
Like we can call.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
But it outfishes everything.
Yeah.
In any body of water I've ever been in, regardless of state, whether it's Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, I've never found a place that fly doesn't work.
Yeah. That and the bloodsucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's tactics. What about like electronics during that time? Do you want to dive into that?
Yeah. So I think electronics, like the electronics piece of fishing has always been a lot more in the bass world and a lot more in the saltwater world. In freshwater lakes, we started using just straight up depth finders, like just a regular helix or something, not really ever looking for fish.
I mean, that's what all the trolling guys do still.
Yeah, I mean,
But I guess fly dudes,
I think that fly
like
guys
belly
are,
boat guys.
I think
or your
fly guys,
one-man pontoon
but I honestly
guys.
think fly guys, and no matter whether you're on a boat like ours or if you're on a belly boat, like I think fly guys have always been behind the curve in terms of electronics, because a lot of stillwater fly fishing isn't like, and hasn't for years been a huge thing. Like it was always a trolling thing. It was a casting thing where you're covering water. So those guys were
Not
way
a
ahead of
sit and wait thing.
not a sit and
With
wait
bugs.
thing with bugs, right? I mean, basically when
It
you're
wasn't near
flying,
as popular as floating rivers.
no, because you're not. And so guys with fly fishing in Stillwater has become more and more popular as things got more crowded. But the electronic piece has become huge for us, like with our boats, because we can strap a lot of different types of electronics on it. And it's huge for finding drop-offs, for finding weed edges, for finding little pieces of structure, for taking a map, looking at a map and then saying, okay, I'm going to go out here and I want to find this railroad track that says it's submerged or something, like, because all of those places can be good places to look for fish. And I think that a lot of fly people just go out where all the rest of the belly boats are per se and just start fishing and hope for the best. They don't even know
Or
what
they
is on-
follow the guide boats
Yes.
to their spots, right?
Yeah, if they can get out that far, So
And I think that was the funnest part for us. Was the most fun part for us was taking our electronics and just like looking at a map, trying to find depth changes, and then going and scanning the whole area
I mean,
and like trying to figure our own area
For 2 or 3
because that's
years-
the most rewarding thing.
for 2 or 3 years, that's pretty much all that we did. Like, we actually drove around more with electronics looking for different types of places than we actually did fish.
Yeah, so it helps a lot. What's your thoughts on the live scope thing?
Ooh, for fly fishing,
We
I don't
have- we
like.
have one.
We have one, and for fly fishing, I don't really love it because you end up just
I know.
staring at it all the time. Now, I will tell you that there are times of the year like where fish congregate or aggregate for different reasons. So if you don't know a body of water and haven't figured that out, live scope is a huge thing. Like if you can afford it and
I
you
will
just
say,
want to go,
you don't want to use it all the time because it will ruin your
yeah,
experience.
it like you don't even know the sun's out anymore, and you get live scope neck, and you're staring at it.
You're hard
like,
scoping.
yeah,
That's what me and Brett and Jay called them.
dude, it is
Bunch
like
of hard scopers.
you,
Hey, I guess we're hard scopers now.
we are.
Well, we don't use it a lot for trout though. Still,
No, but
I
you
will
can
say,
find
like-
aggregations. Like if you want to find where fish are associating to a kind of structure, it's a game changer.
I will say if you're a lot more people are exploring the species now with the fly, walleye, bass, warm water stuff. Like having that for fly
Muskie.
fishing, muskie, and that's a whole debate up in the
up in the
north. I
north.
thought that was the Meat Eater podcast.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of good stuff about that.
Yeah, about whether it's ethical or not. Speaking of ethics, but yeah,
But yeah, I mean, warm water stuff and with a fly rod,
Mhm.
live scope is a must.
yeah, Yeah,
me.
because I think those warm water species, I mean, walleye, I guess, are different. I mean, I don't really know. We don't really fish for walleye, but they travel in school. So LiveScope, you could find groups of them.
Finding where they sit,
Yeah.
the depths that they're at. Wiper is a huge school fish that LiveScope can
You can get,
make your day.
yeah. Well, and on top of that, because things like wiper in the spring where you're targeting them, they travel and they chase bait fish. So actually, part of the lake may have no fish at all, and then all of the fish are in two different coves. So if you don't have a way to find them, like it's basically like peeing in the wind.
Yeah,
Like, you're no help.
But yeah, all right. Well, we kind of covered that
Now
time
we're,
frame, huh? Is there anything else you have
well,
about
dead
that?
summer, like though.
Dead summer's brutal. I guess we didn't have that time frame.
No.
Once you hit July,
End of June, early.
mid-July
Yeah.
into the whole month of August, you can catch fish still. I mean, you got to watch out for water temps, but the water temps too, like if you just got to catch and release them quick because they go and find their, good water temps down in 30 feet to 15 feet.
Yeah.
And I've done it. I mean, you can do deep chironomid rigs.
And
When
leech
you're
rigs.
I've fished 22, 24 foot rigs.
How fun is that to
Oh
cast?
my gosh, horrible.
Yeah, dude, it sucks.
Yeah.
Now there is some dry fly fishing early and late,
There
like
is.
that you can still
Depending
be
on where you're
successful.
at.
Yeah, like there's a lot
There
of
can be cool dry fly
during that
stuff.
time, like because you got hoppers and you got like dragonfly stuff,
Yeah.
damselflies and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever how do you have a pattern or do you ever fish damselfly nymphs?
Dude, not really. Well, I've done some alpine stuff with them.
But like on the big lakes, I've never done very well.
You can
with
do
them.
it. Once you get into that
Time
Once you get
frame?
into that time frame, I think it's more about it's still about the bug, but then hatches kind of die off and it depends on the day. And then it's just about getting your flies in front of their face at the right depth still. Like
And I also feel like that time
and that's where live skill can be really nice if you can figure out if they're still shallow, like 8 to 12, or if they're like 15 to 25.
and if you can find an aggregation or a congregation around something like if you have like a 25-foot flat and then within that 25-foot flat, there happens to be some piece of structure that comes up from 25 to 22 or something that they're, that they're around or they're moving around. The other thing that I think about that time of year is that there's been so many different hatches during that time of year. Now everything's in play. There's still chironomids at play. There's still calibatus at play. You've still got annelids. There's worms and stuff at play.
Bigger red worms, like everything is in there now.
And so what are they keying on?
Who knows?
Dude,
we
who
found them
knows?
in July when they eat those stupid size 40, 30
Snail
whatever
things.
snail. Yeah.
They were full of them.
Yeah. Where they're just filter feeding.
Yeah. Like they're not even eating one
So
thing.
Things get weird. We
So-
can still have good days.
So
But
summer, if you're willing to throw a 25-foot bobber rig, like you can still catch fish.
Yeah.
Or go early and catch them on dries. But
Yeah.
so that takes us from late summer. So now we're talking about, let's just jump straight to September. Let's just put July and August in the same category. So now we're straight up talking about September through ice. So all fall until lakes
Yeah.
get hard water.
That really depends. Is there browns? I guess that's the same with rainbows in the spring.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that whole
Yeah.
thing, though. I didn't
So
even touch on that.
if you noticed, he didn't really touch on in the early spring. He didn't touch that much on beads or eggs. That's something that goes on a rig. But in the fall, it's going to be the same thing, and then that'll lead us into
yeah,
kind of our
I think
next
it's
topic.
later, though. Like,
You're not going to
really-
do that in September.
no, September's similar to the late, it's still, kind of the August thing. But then if you start to get colder nighttime temps, you can move back to like the leech and a chironomid, two chironomids and a leech. Like maybe you throw some thin mints and stuff around. I mean, thin mints are you can strip them, you can soak them,
Fish them dead,
you
whatever.
can dry fly fish them. You can
It's
do
actually-
anything with it.
It's actually a pretty sick lake fly. It's probably my favorite. Like, if you had, that's why I picked it for my, you gave me the option.
I did.
If I don't have your bloodsucker leech, that's probably what I would put on was a thin mint. A store-bought fly, it would be a thin mint.
And then you get to October, November until it ices.
Mm-hmm.
And It's a find the drop-offs with a weed edge. It's back to ice off, but yeah, you're ditching the bugs pretty much, in my opinion. You can still catch them on it, but
Yeah,
I'll sometimes throw a chironomid on my top.
I always
fly.
keep after summer. As soon as ice off stops and you get into the time of chironomids, I'll throw chironomids
Yep.
all the way even through the end, just because they're still in there and available. I mean, you can't really in Stillwater go wrong with having a chironomid on. Now, whether they're getting keyed on or not, you might change that out depending on what you find.
But once you get really late, you get the same ice off, shallow, on the drop, cruising edges. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, as far as part of the lake, like body,
Yeah.
what you're
and like
looking
specifically
for
like rainbows at Spinney, we've done pretty good in that
in the fall on the
November,
drop off,
early November.
the weed edge drop
But
off.
like if you're somewhere with browns, I don't even know what to say about it.
I don't either. Like, here's what ends
Find
up
gravel if you
Yeah.
like to fish for big balls of spawning browns where CPW takes all of their eggs.
Yeah, like
I mean, it's fun. Like there's big fish, but it's like, is it really like it's not true Stillwater fishing like I'm not going to get into. We're about to get into that. So let's still talk
just
What was
tactics.
other?
Like what
I mean, we
would
talked
work?
about
Nothing.
tactics.
Early fall to
bugs.
eyes off. You basically, for us, like like if you picture it like this. So here, like if you start at ice off, and then you're doing these certain tactics, and then you go up into summer, and then you're doing summer tactics that we already talked about. You basically just back your way back down to spring tactics into similar parts.
Yep.
As the water cools,
Go deeper in the summer, come back shallower to where the lakes, it drops off.
and particularly, like you said, if browns are spawning in the fall, then even rainbows will follow them back as they start going into pre-spawn. And you can catch a lot of browns as they start transitioning from that 20 to 25
That's
foot
why I think
deep.
middle September
Yeah,
to October is a cool time.
I agree because the fish are clean. Like
And
they
they're
haven't really
eating
started.
chironomid still.
Yeah, they're eating
They're
bugs.
pre-spawn.
Yep.
They're clean. They're not.
And the browns
they don't look
will
like they've
chase
been ran
stuff.
over by propellers.
Exactly. They haven't had 4 beads across their eyes and around their
They get
tails. Like
aggressive.
and they'll chase a lot of
And
things.
brook trout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because we're specifically talking, the South Park, North Park, those types of still waters. Because Alpine's a whole different game.
Yeah. By that time, if you're going alpine, you already know like
It better
winter's
be iced
coming.
off.
Like,
Might be iced already.
ice might be coming back by that time.
But yeah,
So those are basically our tactics, and really,
I mean, we can talk a little about like finding the right depth with your rig is the biggest key. And you're not keeping one depth all day.
No.
I'm continuously changing. Like if there's bugs hatching, so if we're in spring, I'm probably still using hemos to attach to my bottom fly and throwing it to the bottom and trying to be like a half a foot off bottom with my bottom fly and then covering some water column. As I go into the spring, summer bug hatches, I'm keeping my chironomid, my bottom chironomid, like
Is the bottom fly.
as the bottom fly, and I'm keeping it a few inches off the bottom in the morning. But as those bugs start to hatch more and more and those hatches get thicker, you can chase them back up to the surface. Like you could be fishing 12 feet, but your rig's only 6 feet,
Yeah.
So you got to kind of pay attention to the state of the hatch and where it's at. But using hemos for a depth finder is very helpful.
So what I just wrote down, so I didn't want to forget it, was this: is throughout the year, here's one big thing that I've noticed, especially in Colorado. All whether it's Stillwater in Colorado or it's Stillwater anywhere, wind will and should change how you're fishing. So let's talk about depth for a second. What you just said is key, regardless of what we just talked about. The biggest thing, what's the one thing that I've taught you since you were little? If you are not catching fish, if you want to catch fish, fish where the fish are, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're on a body of water and you're not being successful and you notice 4 fish turn in one area, go over where the fish are. Like, there's a reason typically now, if it's one random splash or whatever,
Yeah.
don't chase that. But if you can start noticing a specific spot where fish are rising or you see something, go fish where the fish are. There might be something over there that's keeping them in that area. So that's number one, is fish where the fish
And
are.
you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
Every time people get stuck, they're like, I've caught a fish here. I'm not moving. Do you know what I mean?
Depth changes, temperature
We
changes.
used to say, like, you don't leave fish to find fish.
Yeah.
But in still waters, like,
If you can't-
sometimes moving 20 feet,
makes
if
all
you've
the
caught
difference.
3 fish and then in like 20 minutes and then you go an hour without, or like 30 minutes without a hit, making a little move can make all the difference.
Move 10 feet. And that is where electronics can come in, though, because as you drive, you can be like, oh, well,
There's something a little different right here.
yeah.
And you can really dial in.
Now,
your
as
game.
far as depth that you're fishing, like, I would say particularly whether you're trying to fish just above the weeds or you're on a mud flat bottom, try to get your bottom fly 3 to 6 inches off the bottom. And then if you got other flies, go up from there. But your bottom fly, get close to the bottom.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'll say is that if you're like, let's say that you're in May and chironomids are going crazy, but the wind starts blowing and you're trying to fish in,
15 mile an hour wind.
15 mile an hour
and
wind,
like 1 to 2 foot chop.
you are not going to get very often. You're not going to get fish to eat chironomids that are doing this. They're running around.
Yeah.
Chironomids don't do that. They hatch and they come up through the water column. If you're chironomids,
So then that's when I like to anchor my chironomid rig with a heavy balanced leech so that the indicator is kind of like fighting a little bit of the waves. Do you know what I mean?
and then your bottom leech, if it's a balance, and I always put a balance in that situation. You put a balance leech on the bottom. A leech is more likely to look like it's moving
Yeah.
in the wind and the waves. You're going to be more successful. But if you have 3 chironomids on and it's windy and you can't figure out why
Probably
you
not a
didn't,
good day to fish.
or if it
That
was
way,
if
specifically.
it was calm and you were hammering fish and then the wind picks up and you can't catch a fish in the wind, that's why.
Can I just say, people are like, oh, like you need chop to catch fish during the bug hatches. I hate it now.
Dude,
I'd rather have dead calm still water because if you have the right bug,
they'll eat it.
yeah, because they're eating the bugs that are you can slowly just like twitch it with your hands, like
Yeah.
barely just give it some
Just
movement.
walk it.
Yeah,
And how
under
many
the bobber, and so many times like after a mend, gives it a little
1000%.
movement.
Hey, speaking of mending, if you even have like a light wind, like no chop, let's say that it's almost glass, but there's somewhat of a current in the water. I'm just here to tell you, I don't know why it is. Treat it like it's a river
Yeah,
and mend up. Like,
I know they don't like it when they're dragging. It seems like sometimes I don't know why. It's
I don't know
weird.
why. You'd think that,
You think it don't,
but it
matter.
works so much better. If you like, don't leave a belly in your line. Like I always mend it like a river.
I do too.
I don't like the belly.
You're better off mending and then giving it twitches.
Yeah, I feel like that belly just swings it in a weird way, and they don't eat it when it's swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple
For
more.
rigs, I mean, we're running 2-3x leaders.
Yep,
We used to run straight fluoro leaders.
I
But now
still do. I do.
it sinks your line though, and
I
now I'm
know.
kind of if you got a lot of leader between your indicator and your fly line. So I'd say, I mean, obviously mono leaders to try to do that, and then fluoro tip it.
Yeah, I always
But
use fluoro tip it no
If you
matter
use fluoro leaders, your flies do get down good.
what. Yeah. Well,
in a line.
and I will tell you this, like, I don't care what anyone says. Every to each their own. And I know there's a lot of guys that are like, you only need a 4-weight or a 5-weight or whatever. Like, when it comes to Stillwater fishing and you're throwing a heavy bobber rig, I don't throw anything less than a 6-weight.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to bomb a cast out there.
I use 5 weights a lot, but
I like 6
my
weights.
5 weight that I use also is more like a 6 anyway. So
Is that the NRX? No, it's
no, it's
not.
my 6.
It's
It's my Sage X.
Yeah, but it's a stiff 5.
Yeah, it is.
So anyway, but throwing those big bobber rigs, dude. Like I like using my 7-weight actually
Yeah.
because I want to bomb stuff
If
out there.
I'm stripping intermediate lines, it's usually what I'm
sure.
throwing.
Yeah. All right, let's just really quickly touch though on if you are stripping stuff. We talked about bobbers. Like,
Yeah.
what's a go-to streamer?
Always full sink or intermediate lines. Never float.
Yep.
I never use them.
No. If you can avoid, like I know, like if you can't afford to have a full sink line and a sink, like
You can do it.
You can do it, but
Just put
then
a
you
lot
want
of
to put
weight.
weight on it. Like even if you have a heavy sex dungeon or something that you're throwing, like put 3 split shot on it because you need it to get down.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to use split shot. Fish will still eat your streamer.
I promise they will.
They don't care a whole lot about the split shot right
No,
there.
they'll eat it anyway.
Yeah.
That's another tactic too, is that you can actually drift fish.
Crawling crawdad patterns
Yeah.
from the boat, especially.
Yep. And walking them right
Especially
on
if
the
you're
bottom.
casting to the shallow side and slowly twitching it off the deep edge.
Yeah, like as though a crawdad's slipping down from 2 feet into 5 feet.
Yep.
They'll pick it off the bottom for sure.
Yeah.
But get it on the bottom. Don't strip. I very rarely have anything that eats anything mid-column. If you're stripping something fast, you're not probably catching anything mid-column.
Unless you got a bunch of stalkers.
Yeah, I mean, big fish won't eat it off the bottom. Anyway, so that's how we treat every Stillwater, like whether we know it really well or we just have never even walked on it. We use the same tactics no matter what Stillwater.
Is there anything
we go to.
boating specific to bring, to do, to pay attention to?
I think on our boat, so let's just talk about that for a second. So there's a lot, I think it's important to talk about a safety standpoint is, number one, it's the law in Colorado that you have a PFD, whether you're in a kayak, a float tube, any type of boat, you have to have a PFD. So that's number one. But people die every year in South Park and in Stillwaters all across the country, but they die all the time. And a lot of times it's because the wind comes up fast. That is the great thing, I'll tell you. I won't speak to anyone else's boat, but our boat, with it being a cat, without having a bottom, we just talked to a guy who's a kid who was on the fly fishing national team, and he's dumped boats in lakes.
Yeah,
in one of those
in a lake,
in a lake, in a raft, not a boat. But the reason is it was one of those narrow, light boats, and he anchored it, and the chop got up. Well, when you have an anchor on the bottom and your boat's up here,
Yep.
when a wave comes, the anchor holds and the front of the boat goes down. Well, guess what happens with the wave?
Yeah, the water goes right in.
The water goes right in and dumps you. And that happens to whether you're in a John boat. It happens in a bass boat.
Anchoring drift boats in Stillwater especially
Yeah.
is pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
And
So that's the thing about
Windy.
ours. So if you want to talk about safety, like in our cat specifically, you anchor it and it doesn't even matter. Like you can take as much water over the front and it just runs right down the middle and back out the front. So we've been out in 30-mile-an-hour winds, not because it was comfortable, just to see what the boat would do. And you're wet, but it ain't sinking and it's not dumping, it's not turning over because there's nothing in the bottom of it.
yeah,
So be safe,
it makes fishing in those 10-mile-an-hour days a lot better too.
Yeah, you're not worried
No,
ever.
I mean you're bouncing up and down, but you are safe.
But 10 to 15 is nothing in
No.
a hydro sleigh.
No.
So yeah, but from a boating perspective, that's what I would say for sure is be safe no matter what you're in. But our boats don't have that big of a problem, doesn't seem like. Yeah. All right, so we were doing fall into ice, and then that brings us to a little bit talking about lake spawning fish spawning in lakes, and whether or not they're successful and whether or not it's appropriate to fish for them in those times where they're congregated and they aggregate around. So
Yeah. So can fish successfully spawn in lakes? Obviously, fish that run out of lakes into a true river spawn successfully.
yeah, like for example, they do not stock nor have they stocked brown trout in Spinney Mountain Reservoir, and I catch brown trout every year.
More and more.
More and like this year, had one day I caught nothing but browns, so they're in there and no one stocked them. So
Yeah.
they're
And it does
successful.
have an inlet. It actually has 2 inlets technically, right? So let's just talk about
Which is an important fact.
Let's just talk about lakes where you find where if there's no true inlet, not a lot of actual moving water, because fish, in order for fish to successfully spawn, they need oxygen.
Oxygenated
eggs
reds, like gravel.
alive.
Yes. But it can be done with wave action. There is places.
Apparently, I've found a lot of the science and people like to say no. That if there are areas in a lake where fish find gravel and spawn on the gravel and it's not an inlet or moving water, that
It's not successful.
The rate is so low that it's considered not successful. But I've found like Reddit feeds with people saying there not used to be no brown trout in these weird like slough
Areas.
ponds where all of a sudden they've been like successfully spawning. Whether it's just like the wave action, small springs.
Yeah. So, and I think that the wave and the wind action is probably one of the big, huge things. Because if you think about it, like in the fall, all fish move up either into inlet areas, into a river, or up into shallow gravel that's near the shore, right? Well, what's near the shore? Wave action, where the wind pushes the wave. So if you're in a place, particularly like South Park, where you've got a lot of wind, is it
Or
enough
how about
to
North
cause
Delaney?
yeah
Has no like
inlet or at all?
Got the weird little thing, but like,
But
not
they do
an
s-
it's not an inlet.
But they do stock it with browns.
They do.
But they also there's two places they get all of the brown trout in Colorado.
TPW takes all of the for brown trout eggs. They get all of them in the fall from North Delaney or Ontario.
Yep.
Both, not or.
Yeah,
both.
both. Yeah. They set up nets. They take them. They milk them. They
Which I'm
they
not
do
saying
their
that's
thing.
wrong. Like
No.
they continue to stock the browns in there. Like
They put them
that's
back.
great that browns are doing so great in there that they can do that.
But the question then becomes then, is it appropriate and ethical? And this isn't us or my opinion one way or the other, but when there are places that are browns are all stacked up,
Or rainbows,
or rainbows in the spring,
cutthroat, or anything, whatever.
you know, honestly, it feels like this. If you have a population of fish that is self-sustaining, then those fish should, could or should be left alone. But if the population is not self-sustaining and they're not going to really successfully spawn anyway, then should you fish for those spawning fish?
The thing that makes me laugh, in Colorado, is it illegal to fish a red?
No.
No, right?
By law.
But it's an unwritten rule for the river, like you see the Colorado River, the Roaring Fork, the Eagle. Like there's closure areas on rivers to
It's a
not
great
fish
point.
certain areas, and all the fly. Everyone's trying to make people aware to not like the Dream Stream. Everyone always talks about don't fish reds, right? And don't stomp over reds. So rivers like reds are so
protected.
yeah, but like when it comes to like gravel beds on lakes, it seems like it's a willy-nilly free-for-all.
And it feels like it's
And
this
I'm not
huge-
saying I'm not putting my opinion on it right now,
Right.
but that's the way it feels.
It feels like it's a big fight and an arm wrestle between people that do it and people that don't. Like,
So is it wrong? Is it right? Is it healthy for the fishery? Is it hurting the fisheries? Does it not hurt the fisheries at all because there's no successful spawning in those areas? Are those areas getting hit so hard that it's killing the big spawning fit? Like, I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that go into it. So let's start with, we have some statistics, right?
yeah. So this is from a stocking standpoint. So
We're going to compare Ontario to Spinney.
yeah. So if you look at this, and anyone can look this up, but so this is just facts. But if you look at the Antero gets stocked with 1 million fish a year. Did you know that?
That's crazy.
So it averages from, and we did
That's
the
a
stats.
lot.
We ran the stats from 2019 to 2023. So he's just stopped there, but because every year it's very similar. Okay, they average stocking 300,000 rainbows, 300,000 cutbows. So that's 600,000 some version of a rainbow trout. Okay, 100 to 150,000 cutthroats. Okay, 120 to 140,000 brown trout. Okay, so cutthroats, rainbows, cutbows, and cutties make up 700,000 fish.
Wow.
Okay, now that's not to make there's brookies mixed in there that make up a piece. Splake,
Tiger muskie.
tiger trout.
Oh, yeah, tiger trout.
So there's a mixture, but overall the combination is there's about 1 million trout restocked in Antero. Which, if you think about it, Antero is a bait fishery, right? There's no barbless requirement. I mean, you can keep 2 fish. I think that you can keep 2 fish in Antero, right, year round. So, And there's zero regulation in terms of closures of any part of that lake, right?
Yeah.
No inlet closure, there's no place you can't fish anytime. So this isn't a law type thing. But there are places in Antero, different times of the year, we don't need to call them out, but that fish completely congregate in certain times of the year. So, and I think that for me, the thing is like people that target those, and you and I go out during those times of year and we've fished for those fish. So I don't want to sit here and say like I'm holier than thou by any means.
Yeah.
Not saying that. But you do see on social media a lot where there are certain people that do nothing but make a reputation for themselves and for their YouTube channel based on only targeting those fish those times of the year.
Like at
Right?
days in a row at night when you're not even supposed to fish the lake.
Weeks, yeah, weeks in a row. Like, and I think that if you're promoting, I don't know, if you're promoting a product or a service or something, or you're helping someone be successful, to me, that's different than someone that's just trying to get views and likes by using that fish during that time to make themselves look like, hey, I'm some master angler, when you're targeting fish that are sitting in a bowl basically at that time. Like if you want to fish for them, great. If you want to take pictures of them, great.
I agree with that. We're not saying that if you sell a product or a guide service or are trying to offer something, that means you have more of a right to fish that.
Right. I'm not saying that
Everyone
at
has
all.
the equal opportunity to fish whatever they want. And if there's no rules and laws and regulations, then do whatever you want.
And if you don't like it, go to CPW and get it changed.
Yeah, and I think you should always try to protect the health of a fishery. But like what you said, more and more, we are seeing a lot more people that are just doing anything and everything they can to catch the biggest, most colored up fish, to get the most likes and the most views and the most free stuff from companies and whatever. Like, I'm not saying that influencers that offer nothing else but themselves in their videos have still played a good part in spreading awareness of wildlife in hunting and fishing, and that maybe like has create more awareness to protect stuff. So maybe there has been good stuff, but I think the overall, I don't know.
I think that the overall impact of pure influencers, like if you're just
and we're not getting
influencing.
fully into influencers
No.
right now, but we're just mainly saying that because there have been a lot of that going around and taking advantage of, in my opinion, of those gravel spots for social media
purposes.
And that has, in the last 5 or 4 years, in turn, or like because of completely now, like everyone and their mom are at those spots.
Yeah.
And I think that has negatively impacted Spinney.
I agree. And here's what
Antero, I don't think so because of they put 1 million fish in there a year. So whatever.
So no matter what, you're
does it still
fishing for
negatively
stock
impact
fish.
it a little bit when you bring up a fish and it's like missing both mandibles and it's got black spots over it? Like,
and I'll get into the technical part of it in just a
but give
second.
us the
but let me-
Spinney now.
So here's where I think that is different. So Spinney is one of only 3 lakes managed as a trophy fishery in the state of Colorado, right?
Yeah.
So you got North Delaney, Spinney, and Stagecoach.
Steamboat. but
Steamboat,
I don't
yeah.
even know about Steamboat anymore.
I mean, no one talks about it. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
the point is that at Spinney in particular, the stocking report for Spinney is literally only 45,000 fish are stocked per year. So you have Antero stocked with 1 million fish a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And Spinney is stocked with 45,000. Now, Spinney has 2 inlets. You have the South
Ontario kind of has an inlet.
Ish. It just doesn't run very much, and in the fall it really doesn't.
So yeah, keep going.
So it tells me that you got Antero, which allows bait and allows you to keep 2 fish, right? So it's managed as a put and take fishery.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. That's what it was decided for. That's what Denver Water wanted. Whatever CPW manages as
And
that.
that's Denver Water.
That's Denver Water.
Spinney is
I think it's Aurora
state
Water.
park.
Oh,
Well,
it is.
It's a state park.
They're both state
but
parks, though.
don't think
I think it is.
I don't think Ontario is actually a state park. No, it's not. You don't need a pass when you go in and park.
Oh, you don't, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. You're right. I guess you don't.
But yeah, it's Aurora water or whatever because of the homestay
Yeah.
ditch where they pump water in.
So that brings us to spinny. So there's 45,000 fish, and they're all only cut bows.
Now they are put in at 10 to 12 inches,
Yeah, they're put in at
whereas Ontario is anywhere from 2 to 5 inches.
so the pelicans can eat them really fast. Anyway, but yeah, so spinny is managed as a trophy fishery. You can only keep one. You can keep one fish still, and it's flies and lures only, no bait, right?
Yep.
However, there is in the spring, depending on when they open it up, there's an opening and closing date for spinny, right? So it's not available any time of the year.
Yep.
It's already flies and lures only, which it probably should be barbless and single hooks only if they really wanted to truly protect it,
Right.
right? But there's an area particularly that gets just absolutely hammered all spring. Like everyone lines up, and almost all of the fish, I mean,
They end up
Dude.
in the South Platte, but not. I think more now end up in the stupid fake
the ditch.
home stake ditch.
Yeah.
And when I say stupid, I'm not saying it's stupid, could like fish it, whatever. I'm saying it's stupid because it's not even real water. It's getting pumped from
Somewhere else.
miles and hundreds of miles. Where's it
I
coming
don't even know
out
where
of?
it comes
I
from.
thought it almost comes out of like Denver or something crazy. I don't
So-
even know. It comes out of
And
somewhere.
apparently, and this is what I'll say.
I mean, it's a great idea to fill the lake up, but because the lake levels have been horrendous.
So at least it has a
maybe
way to
they
fill it
could
back up
do
because
that
it was really
more.
low this year, right?
It'd be nice if they could do that more.
But honestly, they close that. You can't fish the homestake ditch itself.
The creek
The
itself.
creek when it's running. And I've walked up there, and like in the spring, it's loaded with fish. So is that telling you then that they expect those cut bows to actually be successful spawning?
Probably.
Because they're only putting
Cutbow
45,000 in.
spawn, it's proven that cutbow spawn better than pure cutties or rainbows.
Yes, they're actually a more prolific reproducer in their hybrid form than they are individually.
Yet,
But the ditch leading up to the actual moving
from ice
water,
off until May, end of May, well, and everyone fishes it. And I'm not saying I've never fished it either,
right?
but I don't anymore
No.
because I think it's
It was
just
1 year.
crazy.
I did it 1 year, and I just
The
couldn't
first
take
year
it
we
in.
found out about it, right?
Yeah, and I couldn't take
And
it.
like for new people that go and fish there and either saw the videos of posted there or they just follow the crowds and everyone's catching fish, like I understand it. Like people want to be successful. I'm not saying that it's you can't fish this certain part of the lake, right?
I mean,
Whatever.
CPW doesn't
CPW
outlaw it.
No, I mean they
It's
do have the
legal.
creek closed
Shut off. Yeah.
but the amount of fish that stack up in that holding area, like, and I mean, there's rigs everywhere, dude.
Oh, dude.
I mean, people line up shoulder to shoulder to fish that, right?
And so I think that brings me to the next thing, which is the
And the amount
tactical
of
part
dead
of it.
fish I've seen
Yeah.
over there because I
Lots.
have the amount of like people just throwing them up on. I mean, you can take one home and keep it, but the amount of like big fish, 22 to 26, I've seen thrown up on the dirt and like just mishand. Like that place gets a lot of pressure, and when most of the fish in the lake end up there, and that's just getting hammered. I think it has impacted. I think there's two things. I think it's impacted the fishery because 5 years ago it used to be crazy, and now I think we've seen less fish.
For sure, especially and the way I judge the less fish though is after that whole thing is over, and then the chironomid portion starts, and then the fish spread back out to their other usual places. The places where
The average size used to be 20 to 23.
which I know the state record was just broken there, so they're still big fish. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but like now, like you catch like 1 out of 10 might be like a 20 to 22.
And there's
And
a
not
lot
everywhere. Like we've still had good days there. I'm not saying it's garbage, but like you just catch a lot more like stalkers that they've put in. That, like,
There's a
this
lot
year
more
stalkers that grew a
14s
few
to
inches.
16s, yeah.
And
people will argue, they might argue that the pike do a lot of damage.
the pike do.
And I'm not saying that they don't, because I like probably 1 out of every 5 fish that you bring
Because the
up.
pike do so much damage. why do you think that they wouldn't try to protect those? If they are successful spawners in those 2 inlets, why do you think there's not more of an
attempt to protect them?
initiative to protect spawning fish?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like a purist and gonna like. Do you know what I mean?
No, and honestly, like that brings us to like.
I mean, everyone can choose what they think it like. Make your own opinion.
I just think that everyone needs to ask themselves, like, and I wish that CPW would actually do a better job, though, of actually putting information out there that straight up says, we believe that X or Y lake is successful at spawning. Like let people know, or say, there's really no natural reproduction, and we're going to restock
It's a stock
it.
and put and take.
It's a put and take.
But obviously,
fishery.
Spinney is not a stock and put and take like Ontario.
Right. Just
they
based
put
on the
in-
numbers.
I don't know what the percentage of like 45,000 versus 1 million,
Yeah, I mean,
but that shows you.
more than 10 times.
Yeah. So then I guess I guess the real question of this is, in still waters, is it ethical to
Fish
still
for
those?
spawning fish, and I just say spawning fish because those fish obviously believe they're spawning. Whether they're successful or not, that's different.
Yeah.
But those fish are in those areas. They believe that they're spawning.
And I'm not saying fishing that ditch is completely wrong. I just think when when Spinney has been put on Fox 31, and it's like
Multiple times.
it's like advertised by everyone as like the Stillwater to go catch big fish at, and then everyone sees the video on YouTube of the
ditch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go into detail about that.
stacked elbow to elbow and shoulder to shoulder, and
But I'm like, then everyone ends up there, and I think I'm not saying it's wrong, but like when you get that many people during that time frame, when I do think they successfully spawn,
it makes it think CPW should step in if they're really worried that way about it. Like, and I'm not for super amounts of regulation. I'm not sitting here saying, well, we should have rules about everything.
Yeah.
But that's why I do think that's why people do give people crap about it, is because if CPW is not going to step in, then I think that there are sportsmen who want to do the right thing. So they feel like it's their job to try to protect the fishery. And then you get fights.
We've seen.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Well, and then like for brown trout, CPW goes and nets and squeezes out eggs, and
yeah, how healthy is that for the fish? And they do it.
well, and they seem
And
to
it
be
must-
fine. So
it
it
must
must
be
not be
okay.
bad, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, well, I guess it makes sense if people want to go wreck those gravel beds all day, every day from during the fall.
The one thing I will say
But like,
about it
is it that good for them? I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of dead fish I've seen.
Yeah. So in those Stillwater areas, here's one thing that I'll get your opinion on it. I don't know exactly how you think about it, because in those areas, like using a pegged egg has become like the
In the Stillwater
in
areas.
Stillwater, it's become the go-to technique.
Yes.
Right, a
For
lot.
the spinny ditch.
The spinny ditch
For
Antero,
Ontario,
certain
for
areas
Delaney.
for Delaney.
There's all kinds of other Stillwaters out there where fish stack up.
Yeah, so any place that they stack up in spawning, using a pegged egg or some type of a bead of some kind with a blank with a hook underneath it has become the go-to rig. Now, I will tell you this, that I like fishing a pegged egg. I have no problem fishing a pegged egg. I will tell you that there's ethical ways and non-ethical ways to do it. So first of all, when I fish a pegged egg, my hook that is going to be underneath it, I always try to make it barbless. That's number one. Number two is I make sure that I truly use an indicator to do it. Now, the reason I say that is that in Wyoming this last week, starting January 1st of 2026, on the North Platte, there's a couple sections of Famous River on the North Platte that they are banning the use of a pegged egg. They believe that there's too much mortality. They believe that it's causing too much damage. Now, that has nothing to do with the amount that there's been almost 100-fold increase in use of those rivers, and that's probably what's causing it. But there's always been a law in Wyoming that the hook under your egg has to be 2 inches or shorter. It can't be,
I think it's a law everywhere.
It probably is. It can't be more than 2 inches, okay?
Yeah, it never should be.
Now, I will tell you, in some of these Stillwater areas that we're talking about,
How many times have you caught a fish that came up with a broken off rig?
and
But
the
it was
rig, dude, I'm telling you, like I've seen the craziest rigs broken off in
Or
fish.
how many times have you been seen people over the rock at Ontario
Yep.
with no indicator?
No indicator. Like they're literally and how I've seen them hit with up to 3 beads.
And you watch the cast and it falls, and then you watch them drag, and then it's like
Yeah, they just start dragging like
and that's just not fishing to me.
no, like dude.
That to me is like you just want the likes,
So I don't want
and I don't like that.
So I don't want to throw the pegged egg under the bus. I want to throw how you use a pegged egg under the bus.
Because I looked it up. It's scientifically proven, which made me laugh, that it got banned in the North Platte. I don't know. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But I've read that pegged eggs were invented, and if they're used correctly, that it is better for the fish, right? Like there's all kinds of
less
there's all
damage.
kinds of proven things. I mean, I understand like it's maybe not going into like if it's 2 inches, it should be right at the right area.
Of the
I
mouth.
understand that like hooks can get anywhere, but it has been proven versus just a regular egg that can go down their freaking
Yeah,
stomach,
yeah.
gills, whatever. Like
Yeah.
that, it can't go down. So
Yeah.
that
They
part
swallow.
makes sense to me.
Like
So if you're using an egg at all and you're using a bead with the correct length, it's probably healthier for it. Unless you're fishing, in a ball of fish where fish are running into your lines,
Yeah,
and then your
yeah.
indicators, like that's a whole thing.
right. But the truth is
So
like I
the
don't want
line-
to throw the
yeah.
bead under. But I love when people say. I love when I see people holding fish and they're like, oh, I was walking my leech across the mud or I
I
was
dragged across
slow-
its back.
But they had a leech on, but they had 2 eggs on, 2 beads on with it. So were you dragging the leech or were you dragging the 2 pegged eggs?
to get them to see it. Yeah.
Or just drag it over their back? Like if you're dragging in the shallows or in the gravel, like I don't really know that they're eating it. Maybe they're picking it up to move it because they're pissed off. I don't know, but that's where. But I've literally seen so just like rule of thumb, if you're gonna fish a pegged egg, no matter where you're at, make sure that it's 2 inches or shorter. Like I've literally seen 3 bead rigs with like 3 to 5 inches of line underneath, and it's just wrapped around fish. Like it's not ethical. It's not.
Yeah.
So how you use it is what more matters to me than like if you're fishing a pegged egg. You know me, I'll throw a good pegged egg. I have no problem throwing
It's
the bead.
effective.
Yeah.
Too effective sometimes, maybe. I don't know. That's an interesting topic.
So and it raises a lot. Everyone gets their hair all up in a bunch about it. So what's your overall? So tell me at the end of the day, what's your personal, now your opinion? What do you think about fishing for spawning fishing for fish in a lake and using beads to do so, whether it's spring or fall?
I guess if you're going to do it, think about where it's at. If it's a naturally reproduce. I mean, gosh, dude, I don't even know.
It's a hard question because I'm with you. Like my first thought is like, if they're purely naturally reproducing fish, like if they're really naturally reproducing, you should leave them alone. But at the same time, if that was really the case, then is it not the responsibility of CPW or whatever governing body to protect that area? So there should be regulation.
I mean, you should have your
about
own ethics and morals about however you feel. But you are right. Like at the end of the day, anything's going to happen if there's not a law about it. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me, how do you feel about fishing spawning areas in lakes that's not in a creek or river? Reds that are in a true part of a lake.
So just
You know what I mean?
yeah. areas where fish congregate because those fish believe they are spawning, whether it's successful or not. I mean, I think that for me, I think everyone should try to limit themselves, like to the extent of, hey, I went there, I can catch
After
fish that
so
way.
long of doing it, like it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
like all right.
Yeah, like that's how I feel. Like
you really want to foul hook 24 to 26 browns, like 50 of them in a day? Like you think that's really fishing?
I mean,
In my opinion, I don't. Like I'd rather go duck hunt.
yeah, and honestly, there's something to it. Like if I can go out and find other fish, like it makes me feel more successful. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
like
listen,
on the edges of those areas,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't have to fish that spawning ball.
yeah,
It's there and people are going to fish it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
yeah,
I'd rather find the edges of those. I mean, you're still fishing to spawning fish,
which is a whole nother.
but maybe
story.
they're they're eating fish. Like no matter what you're fishing, you're hooking a fish, right? So there's a way to do it, I think, by not just fishing the true ball of it where they're running into your line. Do you know what I mean?
And I do think though that there are. I agree with that. But I do think that there are people, like let's just use the spinny ditch for example, who would probably
I wanted to
say
get back to that.
who will probably say that
They're not spawning. They're
they're
pre
not
or post spawn.
They're pre or post spawning.
But when they're
But they come and go. Like they come in and they move around and then
Or
they
how
go
about
up.
if they're trying to get to the creek and
And
they've
they're
been
dodging.
they're like getting caught, 20 freaking times.
So they didn't
before-
make it there.
And then they're like, I mean, fish aren't going to want to keep getting.
Shanked on their way to try to spawn, or do they?
I mean, maybe they will, but like, what's the health of it once it gets there?
I mean, are they going to be successful
Is
anyway
it
when they get
successful
there?
now? I don't know.
But then it goes back to, well, if the
That's
governing,
anything though. Do you know what I mean?
Does-
Like
does-
with lake run fish.
it's always lake run fish.
If you're fishing a lake run river,
yeah,
you're fishing for spawning fish.
Yep.
And you know it.
and they are in some stage of the spawn. I don't care if they're in the deep run behind, and so they're either they haven't moved up onto the red or not, or they got done, or they're resting and they moved back or whatever. But just to say that one particular fish is only going to move up and spawn one time, and then it's no longer spawning.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's 100% true. I don't think that there's anyone who could know that.
No.
So just because they're not actively spawning that moment doesn't mean that the 10 minutes before they
Let's talk about the
weren't.
dream stream and everyone posting their. I mean, fish still run up the dream, like giant fish
Yeah.
still run up the dream stream.
Yep.
But that river has apparently declined over the last 20 years, like cratered.
I mean, I don't even fish it anymore.
No.
Like, I don't even bother.
But like, it's such a small place. Like, I'm not saying don't fish it, but like, so many people I see, like, I mean, so many people fish it pretty unethically, no matter what.
You
'Cause
mean
it's so small? There's
you mean fishing
there's
with-
not a lot of places, and they just want to catch the 26-inch cut bow they see on a red and get a picture with it. But like, the people go and fish and try to fish in the deep pools.
But
Were they just spawning like 10 minutes ago? Like, or are you fishing the deep pool that's towards the end of the run? Because there can be reds that are on
the edge
the edge
of the deep
So,
pool.
you're fishing like but like it's the head of the run too.
But
and that's
what-
where
because
reds
you
are.
can't-
Like,
but
I've
because
seen
you
deep,
can't
I've
see
seen
it-
deep reds too. So like, where is the? I'm not
Yeah,
like,
the Miracle Mile.
I'm
how
not
many
saying
deep
never
reds are there?
fish for lake run fish or spawning fish, and I'm also not saying like only fish reds, like catch fish. Like I don't know. It's a hard.
And I'll use a perfect example, and we'll get into Wyoming in a second. But
You
like,
shouldn't fish reds, right?
like
in
that's
general.
no. Yes, you should not fish an
To
active
protect
gravel
your
red
fisheries that you love, and you want them to continue to be good with the pressure we have seen, you should not fish reds.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to reproduce.
Yeah.
So if you want to have your fishery be successful, then don't fish reds. The interesting thing is, though, is that the governing bodies of all of our western state, not all, because I don't know all of them, but like, for example, in Wyoming, literally on the Miracle Mile, they built a man-made red. Did they not?
Yeah, they did, and you can fish it.
And it
It
says
says please
enjoy
just don't
fish.
walk across it.
Yeah, it says don't walk on it.
So you can fish it.
So you can fish it.
You can't stop people from.
So, I mean, the governing body, whoever is determining that is actually, so they built a red because they know that it's going to be successful spawning, or they wouldn't have built the red. And then they tell you not to walk in it, but it says enjoy fishing it. Yeah. So is that, I mean, that's where your personal ethics comes in, because they're telling you with a sign, fish here.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder if there isn't enough science to know how much natural, true recruitment there is that's successful.
And that's what they just don't have enough. Like for Spinny, they just don't have enough info like that.
And so they just put another 45,000 in and hope for the best. But I will tell you, Spinny has changed over the last 7 years.
I think it has.
Yeah.
Oh, even over the last 3 years.
Yeah. Hunter, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's changed.
So, anyway,
What's your final thoughts on Stillwater spawning?
I think that if it's managed, I think that if you're going to err on one side, if you know that a fishery is managed as a put and take fishery, you probably are more likely, like I would say, fish it more. But if it's has natural reproduction,
Try to find fish other places. There's still fish that are always cruising drop-offs or whatever.
Exactly.
You don't have to just fish the Spinny ditch. Like,
Yes.
I think the thing I wanted to say about it, I'm not against fishing the Spinny ditch, but when people can only be successful fishing by fishing the Spinny ditch during the spawn,
Yeah.
I'm like, try to be successful doing something else. Like, grow as an angler.
Yeah.
You're not growing as an angler by throwing on 3 beads and fishing where they're absolutely loaded, and with that much pressure, it ends up hurting the fishery. So, like, try to branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Do something
You still
different.
can be
It
successful.
will probably be rewarding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then
you'll learn more.
Yeah. 100%. I think
So what
that's
we
a
started
great
doing,
take.
we started leaving. I mean, when everyone is a newcomer to the sport, you want to catch a lot of fish, and you want to catch cool fish, and you want to catch big fish, and that happens more often in the fall and the spring, in those spawning areas. But like, I feel like as you grow as an angler, like just branch out.
Yeah.
When you see
Do something
when you see
different.
100 or 50 to 100 people in the Spinny ditch, like, go fish somewhere else.
Try like move off.
You know. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's my final take on
Fish
it.
for pike. I don't know.
And then Ontario,
Yeah.
they put
They put 1 million fish in there and 140.
so you can't really stop people from fishing those areas.
No.
Try to do it ethically. Try to not start
That's
fights.
what I would say. That's what I would say. Number one, don't start fights, which last year there was like some brutal stuff that started happening in certain spots over there. Don't start fights. And number two is,
There's fish other places still.
and if you are gonna fish it, like just don't beat it to death. Like, go there, catch a couple, and then maybe move somewhere else. Like, don't park there for 12 hours and never leave. You know what I mean?
Can. There's no rules against it. No. It's just our take. Yeah. So
That's
at
my
the end of the
final
day,
take.
do whatever you want. It's a free country.
If you're
But
not
also
breaking
try
the
to
law.
try to be a good person and be good people to other people. Like,
Exactly. And I've had some great. Hey, I will tell you this.
I've had some great encounters with
I've had some
people.
great experiences where when it is packed like that and you are
More
fishing
often
next
than
to
not, we
people,
run into people like that.
and I've had people say, "Hey, man, fish right here." I've had people like understanding the environment.
But then you get the small group.
Yep.
Can ruin your day, and a lot of the times it's in the spring or the fall.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I guess that's
Be a cool person.
Yeah,
Be good.
Be good out there. Be good to people. Be good to the fish. Try to help make it all a better place. I mean, the amount of times you go out there and there's trash and crap, like, just try to take care of it.
The one.
Not that I own it and can tell you what to do.
I
but
will end on this. The one thing that I'll ask you not to do, if you're going to fish beads or multiple beads, use an indicator and don't drag beads
Exactly.
across
their tails.
Across their tails. Like,
I mean,
don't
you're
do
gonna
that
foul. You're gonna foul hook fish.
anyway. But don't do it on purpose.
Don't purposely do it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's what I'd say.
So, all right. Well,
All right.
that ends.
That's
We're gonna end the first part here, right?
Yeah.
Because the whole next part's a whole nother.
Yeah. So just a little preview. The next one we're going to do is more along the lines of when government agencies do get involved in changing regulation, and like we touched on a little bit, Wyoming just did it on the North Platte. So we're going to talk about if it was a good idea, if it wasn't a good idea, if government agencies should get more involved, if they shouldn't, what's ethical, what's not, in terms of like,
Yeah, are beads ethical or not?
Yeah.
We kind of went over that, but in relation to the new rules in Wyoming, what actually was done and might help. We're talking about maybe pressure
Yeah.
amount of pressure guides put on places.
And just kind of, I want to bring some, so on the next one, I want to bring some light into, I don't think people are really aware of the numbers of how much pressure actually has increased from 2019.
Yeah, that's a good point. There were great stats on that.
I mean, we got some stats that are staggering
Yeah.
of how much more pressure there is. So, yeah, that'll be next time.
Well, thanks for watching. This was
It's a good one.
had a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot in there. Thanks for watching Riffles and Rants,
Yeah.
TFC.
We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.